What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Thomas and Friends Home Media Reviews. Today's review is on Engines to the Rescue, possibly the hardest mainstream DVD release I had to acquire to complete my DVD and VHS library. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the history section of Engines to the Rescue. So Engines to the Rescue, much like a lot of these CGI releases, had a very short lifespan, as it was released only once in September of 2014, which is quite interesting. This was available in a exclusive 2-pack, which I believe was exclusive to Walmart, if I'm not mistaken, with Tale of the Brave on DVD. And Tale of the Brave came out a week later, September 16th, and Engines to the Rescue came out September 9th. Another little factoid before we move on here, when this was released by itself, you got a free digital copy of Tale of the Brave with it. Also, another fact, this was the first DVD to be distributed by Universal. It was not Tale of the Brave. This came out before Tale of the Brave. If I said that last week, that Tale of the Brave was the first product distributed by Universal, I was wrong. It's this one. And another fact before we move on, this was actually a UK release as well. There was a DVD in the UK also known as Engines to the Rescue. However, that was released back in 2004. So that's the first Engines to the Rescue that came before this one. So enough about my interesting facts. Let's move on to the close-up section of Engines to the Rescue. Alrighty, everyone, here's your close-up look at Engines to the Rescue. This poster art, it's okay. You know, we start off with Thomas and Friends logo up here at the top, Engines to the Rescue down below it. And it's pretty simple, actually. It's pretty much just Flynn and Belle over there on some tracks, and then Thomas, kind of coming off the rails there. Again, pretty simple, but not horrible either. It kind of reminds me of the Journey Beyond Sodor cover, at just how simple and photoshoppy it looks. On the side, Hit Entertainment logo, Thomas and Friends logo, Engines to the Rescue, portrait of Thomas from the front, DVD logo. Wow, Universal. I know that we've seen this logo in the past on some reprints that we have looked at. However, this is significant because we have changed distribution houses. That's right, Thomas and Friends has now switched over to Universal full-time, because I think Lionsgate, they either lost the rights or they wanted to sell them. One of those two. Either way, we are now under Universal's roof. So, interesting times are on the horizon. Thomas and Friends logo again. Help is on the way. Alright. UPC code there. Harold, who looks interesting. He looks kind of odd there. Very serious. Your blurb about what's on the disc and such. Thomas there with Belle and also Flynn again. Your bonus features include Hey Hey Thomas, which is a music video, Working Together Again, which is the reprise of that song from King of the Railway. That's also a music video. And Guess Who Puzzles. So there's no game on here this time around, so we don't have anything to play. And your tech specs and such with the link to the Thomas & Friends website down at the bottom. We open this up. It's not an eco case per se. It's a thicker plastic. However, it is still particularly weak. You can see that my copy is actually bending inside of itself. There's actually a kind of a bulge. You can't see there. But yeah, the plastic is still very cheap, and I'm still not a fan of this. Look, I'm literally bending it like this. I really don't like that. There's your disc, squished up version of the poster art. We actually have some protection for the disc underneath there, unlike with the Eco case. Alright, now obviously I don't have that huge box that included Tale of the Brave back when Engines to the Rescue first came out. This was a Walmart exclusive, as I mentioned in the history section. It came in this giant set that also included Tale of the Brave back when that first came out. I don't have that box. I bought this off of eBay. So I don't have that box to show you. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and transition into our menu tour of Engines to the Rescue. Alrighty everyone, here's your menu tour for Engines to the Rescue. And the menu is actually different this time. We don't have the same 4 options. It's also not on this side or this side. It's on the bottom this time. This is actually reminiscent of special menus. You know, like for Legend of the Lost Treasure or Great Race or any of those coming up soon. This is what the menus will resemble, or like the past specials like King of the Railway or Blue Mountain Mystery. This is what the menus look like, and I'm glad that they've actually changed it up. We have play all episodes, bonus features set up, and previews. Interesting. We haven't had the previews as an option in ever. I almost said in a long time. We never had that ever. Episodes. What episodes do we have on here? Pretty much all of the remaining Season 17 stories that were not released prior. We have Too Many Fire, Engines, The Phantom Express, Bill or Ben, one of the best of Season 17. Oh, Charlie, why are you in this menu? Henry's Hero and Not Now Charlie. So we're back to 5 stories for this release. But, again, these are the last batch of Season 17 stories that were not released previously, so they didn't have a 6th one. You can also play all from the episodes menu, and the menu is actually changed as well. You actually have pages once again. Throw back to the classic series age when you had pages of stories. Bonus features include Hey Hey Thomas and Working Together Again, which is, they're both music videos, and Guess Who Puzzles. You've also got Thomas racing on the tracks with leaves running around him. I am really liking this menu so far. It's actually really cool and dynamic. Again, there is no game, so we cannot elongate this menu tour, so we don't have anything to play this week. Setup, I don't know what this is about. Spoken language, English and Spanish, that's pretty much all you have for setup, and Henry is giving his whoa face, like Neo from The Matrix. Whoa. Except Henry does more emoting than Keanu Reeves. Back to the menu. I think previews will just start playing the trailers, so we'll see. Yes, it just starts playing the trailers. The trailers that I saw in here, you have one for Spills and Thrills, which is this one here. And you also have one for Day Out with Thomas. You also have some other trailers for other Universal properties, which I'm not going to show because I'll more than likely get copyrighted. So head back to the main menu. So that's pretty much it for Engines to the Rescue. This actually has one of the best menus I've seen in a long time, and that's interesting. Coming from me, who has criticized the menus in the past for all being exactly the same, but this one is different, and I like that. So, with all that being said, that's the end of the menu tour. Let's go ahead and head on back and answer the 5 main questions, as always. Alright, so we're back from the close-up, and now it's time to answer the 5 main questions, as always. Number 1, where can you pick this product up? You can't find Engines to the Rescue in stores anymore, much less in that giant box with Tale the Brave. So, online retailers, mainly eBay. I remember I looked for weeks to try to find an Engines to the Rescue. I got a whole bunch of UK Engines to the Rescues in my feed back then. Actually, I have a funny story about that. When I first purchased an Engines to the Rescue DVD, I paid about $6 for it. But I waited a month and the seller never shipped it. I don't know if the seller was just trying to scam me. eBay didn't say the seller was away or not, but it just sat saying paid, was never shipped out, so I had to get eBay to step in and refund my $6. So I can't remember the seller's name, but if I could, I would tell you not to buy from them because they're probably scummy. But then about a week later, I found the copy that you saw in the close-up section, so I think I paid $7 or $8 for that. So number 2, is this product still being printed nowadays? No, it is not. Number 3, should you pick this product up? Engines to the Rescue to me has always felt like kind of a forgotten release. I had never heard of it before doing research to try and see which releases I still needed to complete my Thomas and Friends US home video library. So there's that. To prove that it was a forgotten release. It also has some forgotten episodes on it because the majority of Season 17 was already released in the US, and Season 18 was already kicked into high gear last week with Trouble on the Tracks. So I guess Mattel said, oh crap, we forgot to release the rest of Season 17.
Do we have enough content for a DVD release? Cool, go ahead and slap it onto a disc and move on. That's not to say that this release is lazy. It definitely has some effort put into it. It just feels like the Forgotten Son that no one really remembers all that much, which is sad to say because this has some of the best episodes of season 17 on it. Henry's Hero, Bill or Ben, even Not Now Charlie. I actually really liked Not Now Charlie, and I hate Charlie. I've hated Charlie since season 13, but I really liked that episode because he wasn't an annoying little bitch. The Phantom Express is pretty alright. It's kind of funny to see Percy and, to an extent, Steven go nuts because of James really, scaring the crap out of them. That's a trait that's used in Tale of the Brave that I'm not too big of a fan of, but we'll say that for next week. And then Too Many Fire Engines, a story that was dedicated to making fun of Sharon Miller's writing. That's pretty good, I guess. I mean, it's a huge island. Of course, you'd need more than 2 fire engines. I'm not sure why you need to ask that question, but I'd say, yeah, I would recommend Engines to the Rescue. It's not a high recommend. It's also not a low one. Just a regular old mild one. Number 4. Where should you pick this product up? Same answers as number 1. And number 5, what price should you pay? As I stated beforehand, I paid about $7 or $8 for this. It's actually, I think, worth more than that because there are not a lot of copies on eBay right now. So I'd probably say upwards of 15 to 20. I mean, really, this release is going to gain value in later years. Also, if you find it in that 2-pack with Tale of the Brave, that's worth probably at least 30 or 40. I mean, just because of the box by itself, that adds about $20 to $30 worth of value to this. I remember I saw one 2-pack on Amazon, I think it was, and it was new, it was sealed, it was $80. There was no way I was paying that. 30 to 40, I guess is what it would be worth. I wouldn't pay that much for it, but that's what it was worth. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the HMR on Engines to the Rescue. Again, sort of a forgettable release, and it's sad because this includes some of the best of season 17 on it. You can't remember them all, and not all of them can be memorable. Next week is the HMR I know you guys have been waiting for. I have hyped this up for the past couple weeks. Tale of the Brave is next week, and I know I've said multiple times on this very show, I don't like Tale of the Brave. At the time of this recording, I have not rewatched Tale of the Brave, so my feelings of hatred are still festering inside of me. But who knows? Maybe when I rewatch it, probably tonight after I get done recording this, maybe I'll like it just a little bit more. I doubt it, though. I really didn't like it the last time I watched it, which was about a year ago. So, that HMR is next week. Thank you guys for watching this HMR this week, and good night, everybody.